Welcome to your best first day at Disneyland Paris. I'm Lauren with Lauren Loves the Mouse, and I'm going to show you how to have the best possible first day at Disneyland Paris. If you're new to the parks, there's a lot to discover and a lot to learn, but I'm here to help teach you along the way the tips and tricks of Disneyland Paris and how this unique park works. Okay, first things first, there are of course several different ways to get into the park. You can drive your own vehicle in there, and there are the fees. But my personal favorite way as a local here in Paris is using the metro. So you can use RER to get all the way to Disneyland Paris. It's the last stop on the whole train, and just follow those Mickey ears and they'll lead you right where you belong. There is of course also rideshare drop-off, there's a special drop-off zone, you can walk from your hotel, all different means of entry, but they all converge at Disney Village. So once you see Disney Village, you know you are in the right spot. First you go through security. I do think it's worth saying, don't just follow the crowd here and truly look for the shortest line because it might be hiding. It's basically what you would expect at any other security checkpoint. Just put your bags through the metal detector and then you walk through the metal detector. If you do have bags or luggage, there is a place to store them securely on site. Now, if you are a hotel guest at any Disneyland Paris hotel, you get the extra magic hour. So you get to enter the parks before any other person is allowed in if you are a Disneyland Paris hotel guest of any hotel. And if you are not a hotel guest, I would definitely recommend getting there about half an hour before the park open time, as this area can be quite crowded and lots of people are excited to get their day started early. So make sure you are getting started early too. So in this video, I'm showing you a day that I've designed without any line skipping services. But if you are interested in that, there is the Disney Premier Pass located within the Disneyland Paris app, and you just sign in and select the tickets that you wish to link to a Premier Pass. You can either buy a Premier Pass for the entire day, which allows you to skip the line for each attraction once, or you can do individual rides as well. The price for the Premier Pass Ultimate Pass does depend on the day that you are going, so just check the app for those details there. I personally think you absolutely can get by without the Premier Pass and still have an amazing time, but obviously that is a personal decision if that's worth it to you. So this video is honestly basically what I take my friends and family to see at Disneyland Paris for their first time. So come along, let's dive into the fun. I think we all can agree that no visit to a Disney park is complete without meeting the main man himself. So a really fun thing about Disneyland Paris is that many mornings they have Mickey, Minnie, maybe Chip and Dale, some combination of these meeting right at the train station that you walk under when you are entering the park. So you don't know if it's guaranteed, you don't know who you're gonna get, but it's really fun. And one time I got Stitch himself on June 26th, Experiment 626 Day, and that was a madhouse. Everyone loves Stitch at Disneyland Paris. It's also really fun to wait by the stairs where they exit on the left side if you're looking at it, and you can high-five them on their way to backstage. Important to note, you gotta get there early. They probably only do this from around 9:30 to 10 a.m. or so. So while you are enjoying seeing Mickey and friends, hopefully if they are there that day, keep an eye on the time because the first virtual queue of the day for meeting characters goes live at 9:45 a.m. So this is within the Disneyland Paris app once again, and you can click on characters. Once you click on them, you will see some of the most popular characters have a virtual queue that you can join. This is something that you need to be in the app at 9:45. I like to get on a few minutes early and just be within the virtual queue section. And then in my experience, I've had good luck once I'm in the queue and then I get out and get right back in at 9:45 on the dot. So my best first day idea for you is meeting whichever character you would like to meet. So maybe for you that's Spider-Man, for me it's princesses. And so getting that virtual queue to meet a special rare character is totally worth it in my opinion. Once you get that virtual queue, I recommend turning on notifications to your Disneyland Paris app and then just watching your waiting time. It's important to note they don't let you in until you are at 0 minutes on the dot. Once you're at 0 minutes, present it to the cast member at the line and have the best time. Also, if it didn't work out for you in the first virtual queue, don't sweat it. I think there is a learning curve involved, and there will be another virtual queue in the parks at 2 p.m. So for both these virtual queues, you do need to be scanned inside the parks, but you can try again. And there's a solid chance that there's less people who are trying for that second virtual queue, and you get it. Good luck. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this. Hold on to your hats and glasses, because this here is the wildest ride in the wilderness. Okay, there's truly no better way to start a day at Disneyland Paris than riding Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. This, in my opinion, is the best Big Thunder Mountain Railroad there is across any of the parks that I've been to, which is both the US parks and this one, and it gets the adrenaline pumping. If you are a coaster enthusiast, I recommend going straight to this attraction once you're in the park and have your virtual queue, because this is likely the shortest line that you'll have for this ride all day. And if you're not into coasters, I recommend going straight to Peter Pan's Flight, because this is also a very popular attraction, and I find that first thing in the morning is your best chance at having a shorter line. This ride is so whimsical and classic and puts you right in the Peter Pan storybook, so this is also a must-do. And much like the American parks, it is also just slow to load because of the structure of the ride and the fact that you're riding in a boat. A quite small boat over London. After one of those two attractions, you gotta make your way over to Discoveryland. This is their Tomorrowland, and go ride Hyperspace Mountain. This is the best space mountain that I have ridden. Again, between the two American parks and this one, you get blasted off really fast to Star Wars music, and I swear, even if you're not the biggest Star Wars fan in the world, like I am not, you feel something in your bones hearing that Star Wars theme. It is so fun. It is quite intense, so again, only do this if you're a coaster person. After you've gotten some solid rides in, run over to Frontierland, because you cannot miss the Lion King show. I'm telling you, if there's one takeaway from this whole video, it is to go see the Lion King show, because to me it is the must-see attraction of the entire two parks of all Disneyland Paris resorts. So it is a joyous, moving, super fun theatrical production. It is like a Broadway show within the parks. The performers are the most talented people you can imagine, and it is so fun. So if you even just remotely like the Lion King, which I think anyone going to Disney, I think the chances are very good that you love the Lion King, you should go to this. So the shows are usually about 4 per day, and usually around late afternoon through the entire afternoon, about one every hour or two. So definitely check the Disneyland Paris app, as those do change depending on the day, but make sure you get your butt over there to see it. And I usually get there about half an hour or so before, because people start queuing up. Now you're probably quite hungry, so it's time for some lunch. For lunch, I would suggest either Hakuna Matata to just continue the Lion King theme here, or Casa de Coco. So at Hakuna Matata, the theming is impeccable. You truly feel like you are in Africa. The music, the scenery, everything. It's not typically been too crowded in my experience either, and the food is good. I get down with the chakalaka because I'm a vegetarian. And my other personal fave for a quick service lunch is Casa de Coco. This is a newer restaurant, and again, the theming is on point. It's so cute in there. They have the room about all the family with all the portraits that just is so heartwarming and sweet. And I love a Mexican burrito. They have just classic Mexican food that is pretty approachable for everyone. I also won't judge you if you just need a Mickey pizza, and you can find these at a lot of the different quick service locations. It's just not the best. Sometimes it does hit the spot, but it's just not the greatest quality in the world. And mobile order is also an option in the park app, but not many people use it compared to the United States. Well, guess what? After lunch, I think it's time to head over to the Walt Disney Studios park, soon to be named Disney Adventure World, coming March 29th, 2026, which is just around the corner. It's time to go over there because most of the shows and exciting things are happening in the afternoon. So in my opinion, if you're only going there for one day, or if it's your first day and you're trying to fit in as much as you possibly can, you do have to prioritize. And for me, the current state of Walt Disney Studios Park, the shows are where it's at, and a couple of rides. So that's why the afternoon is the best time to go, in my opinion. I know it's shocking. I'm once again going to advise you to check with your Disneyland Paris app, because sometimes The Pixar Together show is playing and not Mickey's and the Magician, and sometimes both are playing or the other way around. So depending on the time of the year that you visit, you might be able to see one or both of these shows, but you definitely need to see at least one. Both of these shows are incredible. The Pixar Together show is really fresh and upbeat, all about the themes of unity and working together, as you might guess, with so many of your favorite Pixar characters, which have become a favorite for most every family nowadays. There are some really fun interactive elements as well, which I think is a cool surprise, and just so many songs that everyone knows and loves. So I think you should definitely check this out. Unfortunately, cameras are not allowed, no recording is allowed within there, hence this video. You will laugh, you will cry, you will come out feeling way better than you did going in, and essentially everything Pixar. All of that is so Pixar, right? And it lives up to the name for sure. The other show you absolutely need to see within Walt Disney Studios Park is Mickey and the Magician. So this is again like a Broadway style show that includes so many of your favorite characters, from Cinderella to Lion King to Aladdin, all the way up to Frozen, and all these favorite songs with big theatrical numbers. Like the Beauty and the Beast Be Our Guest scene is a sight to behold. And just like the Lion King, all the singing is done live by incredible performers, and there are again some really cool interactive elements in this one, especially the Lion King scene for little kids, so definitely do not miss this on your first day to Disneyland Paris. And also, just like Pixar Together, this production also has an amazing original song that you'll be singing in your head the rest of the day. Well, after that relaxing, emotional show or two, you're probably ready for some more thrills, right? So next on the agenda is the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, which is one of my absolute favorites. The theming, again, is incredible, just like the other Tower of Terror in my beloved Orlando. If you're familiar with that version of the Tower of Terror, this version is similar, but there are some notable differences, mainly that the creepy young girl is creepier than ever and follows you throughout the ride. So you'll see her throughout the different floors as you are falling and going up and down. You'll stop and hear her say, "I wouldn't do that if I were you," in English and in French. So if you are not a native or fluent French speaker, I find it's even creepier in French. It's even scarier hearing her say all of this, but the thrills are there. It is so much fun. I just find it so exhilarating, and when you have the exhilarating feelings and the theming, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. The next stop on my best first day that I recommend is Avengers Assemble Flight Force. So this is on the Marvel campus, not far at all from Tower of Terror, and is a fast-paced roller coaster. So there's a couple thrills here right in a row that will wake you up from your post-lunch slump. This roller coaster has the same exact track as Rock and Roller Coaster in Orlando, if you're familiar with that one. So it has a very fast launch and a couple inversions, so something to keep in mind. It's not exactly for the faint of heart, but it is very fun. Now this next one is the best first day for literally anyone in the family, if I do say so myself. It's Cars Cachorro Rally, and it is so much fun. It's just like, it makes everyone feel like a kid again, I feel like. Even if it's only adults in your group, you're gonna have fun as you get thrashed around gently on this Cars themed ride. You'll see you do get spun around a lot, so if you're motion sick, that is something to think about, but I actually get somewhat motion sick, especially as I get older, and I've been okay on this, speaking for myself. But to me, it's just so whimsical and fun. Obviously, if you have kids who are obsessed with Lightning McQueen, this is their shot to be able to get close to him and Mater, and it's a joy. And we all know you can't come to Paris and not ride Ratatouille. It is the original, it's the same as the one that is in Epcot, but this is the OG, so you gotta go pay tribute to Remy. Unfortunately, it is under refurbishment right now as of the time of recording this until spring 2026. But it'll be back soon, and you should absolutely pay to visit. I personally love the single rider option here because I do find it moves pretty quickly, and sometimes I do get in the same vehicle as someone else that I'm coming with. Obviously, you can't guarantee that, but for me, it's a fun way to get on this ride a little bit quicker. Alright, after riding all these, it's time to say sayonara to Walt Disney Studios Park / Disney Adventure World and head back to Disneyland, because right now the parade is at 4:30 p.m. So there are different times of the year. The parade is at different times. So once again, I'm saying you should check the Disneyland Paris app for the day that you plan to be there. And you can check in advance as well. You can see here on the home screen, I scroll down and I click on the dates. And then I can click another day in the future to see what time the entertainment offerings are for that day. So I scroll down, I can see that Disney Stars on Parade is at 4:30 p.m. Disney Stars on Parade happens every single day, but again, check the app for the time, and it's a can't miss attraction. It has so many of your favorite characters from all different movies, including Toy Story, Lion King, Peter Pan, Finding Nemo, some Sleeping Beauty, so many princesses, a villain or two, and of course, Frozen. We can't forget Frozen. And so in that way, I think it's fun for the whole family. But for me, what I really love is having up-close interactions with the characters. All the performers are, again, as usual, so incredible and having so much fun as they stroll down the parade route and looking for ways to interact with the guests and having individual connections with them. So I think that's so fun. You can watch this parade anywhere and you're going to have a good time. I like to get there about half an hour before the show because I want to have a front row spot. Especially if you have littles, I would recommend you get there 30 to 45 minutes ahead of time so that they can be sure to see. Also, because I'm a visual learner, I want to show you the map of the parade route. So it starts there by It's a Small World, goes by Bella Notte, in front of that raised platform, around the loop there on the one side, the castle loop there, down Main Street, continuing down Main Street, around the gazebo there by the front of Main Street, and into backstage. So it might be close to your dinner time now, and at this point I would suggest going to Captain Jack's, a pirate restaurant that is inside the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. To me, this is one of those restaurants that I always think about wanting to go to when I'm on the Pirates ride and you're literally on the boat next to the restaurant, and it's one of those things you just have to do it sometime and remember how cool it was to actually do it. And so in our experience, the food was pretty good. You are paying, maybe more than you should for the dish itself, but you're inside the Pirates of the Caribbean. And I do think it's better than most of the restaurants I've eaten at within Disneyland Paris. This is definitely a popular restaurant, so you can book up to 2 months in advance. And if you are staying as a Disney hotel guest, you are able to book even further in advance for certain restaurants, and this should qualify. And since you're eating inside the Pirates of the Caribbean, you might as well ride it, right? And go right by where you were just eating. And I think one of my favorite parts of this ride, besides the fact that it's just an absolute bop and classic of all Disney things to end all Disney things, I love getting to say hi to all of my favorite audio animatronics, like Mr. Donkey, the Redhead, Mr. Hairy Feet, of course the multiple Jack Sparrows. It's just so fun. Another must-do on your best first day, the Haunted Mansion, which is known as Phantom Manor here. So, am I even a spooky girl? No, I'm not. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know so many people are, but I'm just not super into spooky things. I'd rather not. But this is such a classic that I have to recommend it. Would I choose to ride it alone? Actually, no. And I wouldn't advise that you do either, unless that is just so exciting for you. I'd rather ride it with someone else. But anyway, the storyline here is a little bit different than the other ones, and you should look it all up online because it's hard to understand in the moment. But it essentially involves this young woman named Constance who is set to be married, and her father just continuing to kill every one of her suitors that she's trying to marry, and he is the Phantom. Spoiler. The whole last few scenes of the ride are ending with them in a western town that is haunted and is a really fun twist for this specific Phantom Manor. After all that Phantom Manor stuff, you might need a palate cleanser if you're anything like me, and for me, that is Fantasyland. Fantasyland is honestly my favorite place to go after dark, anytime after dinner, because I feel like the lines are way shorter because a lot of the rides are geared more towards the younger set. And so those kids are maybe already in bed or the park is cleared out a little bit and the lines can be shorter. So my husband and I especially have a tradition of always riding the teacups and It's a Small World at night. And I would recommend you do too. To me, there's something magical about riding both of these with the sun down and the lights on. It's just gorgeous and extra magical. And of course, it's absolutely gorgeous on a blue sky, sunny day as well. So you really can't go wrong, and you really need to ride It's a Small World here at Disneyland Paris, even if you've ridden other versions. To me, this just harkens back to what Disneyland, the original one, was founded upon, as this ride was originally created for the World's Fair, and feels like something that Walt Disney will be proud of and is still so relevant, and the message so important even today. It's a personal fave for my husband and I, and also you can't go wrong with the 5-minute wait if you get so lucky in the evening time. Bonus is if it's cold in the winter time, this is indoors and heated, just like Pirates of the Caribbean. You want to be inside on that long boat ride as long as possible. Bonus if you're an American like me and you get to have a look in the mirror and maybe a laugh at how America is portrayed / how other countries view us. A hint is we love sports ball. And you might be feeling some hunger pains after all that voyaging around our small world, and so lucky for you, you are in the right spot because there are all these different snack carts outside of It's a Small World that are so good. I loved getting this galette there recently with honey and chèvre and arugula. It was amazing and definitely not your average theme park food. They have a variety of sweet and savory snacks, and honestly it's at a pretty good budget as well, so definitely worth a stop. And so this next one is actually something that you can do whenever you have a few free minutes throughout your day at Disneyland Paris. So it is super important and beautiful to walk through the Sleeping Beauty's castle itself. So in the middle of it, you just walk up these stairs and you can do a walk-through attraction that tells the story of Sleeping Beauty and Princess Aurora. There's beautiful stained glass from local artisans that is so extremely French and so special, as well as beautiful statues. You can have a view out into Fantasyland, see the people doing the Sword in the Stone down below. It is just beautiful and very French and very nice to have a slow-paced activity throughout your day. So as much as I think it is my tendency to want to bop around and show my loved ones as much as you possibly can see on your first day at Disneyland Paris, it's also important to slow down, enjoy the French art of flaneur, of just lingering and strolling and joie de vivre, and just take in all the beauty that is all around you. And that's not all that's inside the castle. Maybe you've seen some videos, but there is also an enchanted dragon that lives underneath the castle. And this is the only place in the world that has something like that in a Disney park. And to me, it is so surprising. I love to take loved ones in there and not tell them that there's a dragon and just see the surprise on their face, because it is a ginormous audio animatronic dragon. It can be very loud, so it might be a little scary to young kids, but it is majestic and absolutely a must-do. I know I put these in here at the end because they're kind of a choose your own adventure whenever you have time throughout the day kind of thing, but it is important to note that the whole area around the castle in Fantasyland does close down an hour or so before the fireworks so that they can start preparing and shuttling people out of that area so they're safe and ready for fireworks. So definitely don't save this for the very end of your day because you might miss out. Obviously, the best first day includes some shopping, and one of my favorite places is right by the carousel, and it's called La Chaumière des Sept Noms. There are obviously endless options, and you're bound to find exactly what you're looking for. And finally, what better nightcap to end the best first day at Disneyland Paris than with the fireworks show. The current fireworks show is called Disney Tales of Magic, and it is a tearjerker. The music, the medleys are incredible, moving, including songs from so many of your favorite movies, and they use a combo of projections on the castle and on Main Street, fireworks, and if you're lucky and the wind conditions are favorable, drones. You are able to buy a premier pass for reserved seating right by the castle, like in this position here. These videos are actually taken from the reserved area for disability guests because I was with my sister who is pregnant. And this is a side note, but you are able to get what's called a Bambi pass if you are pregnant and you have the correct doctor's authorizations to prove that. The pass allows you to bring in 2 additional guests to the reserved viewing area. But I digress. The point is that it's so incredible that this show has been created specifically so you don't have to watch it up close if you don't choose to get there early or pay or have the special reserved area. You can see it perfectly fine on Main Street as well, which my husband and I recently did during the holiday season, and we so enjoyed that we could see the projections on Main Street and feel like we are still immersed in the magic. And in some ways I find that was even cooler to be able to see the whole view of all the projections on Main Street and the castle from afar along with the fireworks. As per usual, check the app for what time Tales of Magic is happening on the day that you are visiting, as it does vary. Okay, and now it's time for some of my more hot takes, things that I don't think you necessarily need to do your first day at Disneyland Paris. Honestly, the first one might be a shocker, but I don't think you need to wait in line to meet Mickey Mouse. I know, he's the main man himself, but the way that it's structured is kind of in flux right now at Disneyland Paris. You are able to meet him as Phantom Manor Mickey with a virtual queue at Disneyland Park. But the way to meet him in his classic Mickey outfit is actually currently under refurbishment. So there is a whole building called Meet Mickey Mouse, Rencontre Mickey Mouse, and it is currently under refurbishment as of the recording of this video, but it does appear that it will open within a few short coming weeks. And so after that, you are able to wait inside to meet him. The way I see it, you're able to get plenty of Mickey time other times throughout the day. You can see him when you are entering the park as he's greeting everyone. You can see him in the parade. You can see him at Mickey and the Magician. So you can see him, in my opinion, throughout the day without having to wait specifically to meet him. Obviously, if that's important to you to have a one-on-one to meet him, that's your prerogative, but it's not necessarily something I would say you need to do your very first day at Disneyland Paris. He's understandably a very popular character, and so you have to plan time accordingly for that. My next hot take is that you do not need to ride Crush's coaster in Disney Studios Park, Disney Adventure World. It is arguably one of the most, if not the most popular ride in both parks, with wait times about 60 minutes, 70 minutes, and upwards at any given point of the day. I have gone there first thing in the day to try to rope drop it, but the hotel guests were already there and the wait time was already like 45 minutes single rider first thing out of the gates. To me, this is a very fun ride. It is a very unique ride system that you're in a turtle shell and you are rotating around, and yet I personally don't get motion sickness, and I love that about it. I love the theming, but I also don't think it's necessarily worth that amount of your time, especially on your very first day. You are able to buy a Disney Premier Pass, and if you choose to do that, I think it could definitely be more worth it to you to just get immediately on the ride and still save time. And my final hot take is that you do not need to ride Indiana Jones et le Temple du Peril, the roller coaster, ever. Not on your first day, not ever. It will hurt your back, it is not a good time, and I am a coaster enthusiast. I love them. Maybe I'm just getting old, so I'm sorry to any fans of this roller coaster, but to me, it will injure you and it is not worth it. And with that, I think we are at a good stopping point for this video about how to have your best first day at Disneyland Paris ever. I hope it was helpful. I hope it gave you more of the lay of the land of what to expect for Disneyland Paris and how it is different than the American parks in all of its unique ways. These two parks absolutely have my heart, and I know that they're going to have yours too. If you have any other questions about either park and how to plan your trip, drop me a note in the comments, and please subscribe and watch other videos because we have a lot of videos all about the magic of Disneyland Paris specifically. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for telling your friends and family about this channel. It means so much to me as a young up-and-coming creator here at Disneyland Paris, and I hope you have a wonderful day and that you know that you are valued and you deserve great things. Thank you so much!